All right, this video is going to go over the review for test 4B, so let's go ahead and get started. If I go too fast for you, just pause it. But yeah, this video is going to take a while, so we're going to be moving kind of quickly. All right, here we go. Number one, it's a long division problem. I know it's a long division problem because I'm dividing by something that's not very nice. So I would set up long division. And you do first term divided by first term. So 2x4 divided by 2x1 is 1x3. Then you distribute this. So it's going to be 2x4 minus 5x3. And then it's minus this whole thing. So this is where I go and I change all these signs. Then I combine. So the x4s will cancel. Negative 9x3 plus 5x3 is negative 4x3. Then I drop the next term and repeat. So first term divided by first term is negative 2x squared. I did that negative 4x3 divided by 2x. Then comes the distribute part. So I'm distributing a negative 2x squared to 2x minus 5. So you're going to get negative 4x3 plus 10x squared. I meant to do that in red. Let me change that real quick. Okay, and then here comes the minus parentheses part. So there's parentheses here and you're minusing this whole thing, but you're going to distribute that and change all these signs. Now comes the combine. The x cubes cancel, and it makes minus 8x squared here. Drop your next term and repeat. So plus 30x. Right, so first term divided by first term, it's going to be minus 4x. Then distribute. So you'll get minus 8x squared plus 20x. Then it's like parentheses, you're subtracting this whole thing. So distribute that minus sign, change all these signs. Combine, your x squareds cancel, and this will make 10x. Drop your last term, minus 25. Divide first term by first term, that's going to be plus 5. Distribute. It's minus this whole thing, change all these signs. Everything cancels, 0 remainder. So my answer is in red up there. It's 1x cubed. You could just put x cubed, it doesn't matter. Minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. Okay. Moving right along. This next one is a synthetic division problem because I'm dividing by something real nice. Now, the key here is you have to change this sign so it's -1 here. And right here, they're missing the x squared. So instead of 3, -2, that would be wrong. You have to cover that 0x squared. Then the -2, then the -6. All right, so drop your first term. When it's down here, you're multiplying by that -1. So this is going to make -3. And then when it's in here, you're combining. So 0 plus -3 is -3. Then I repeat. So when it's down here, you're multiplying. So that's going to make +3. And then you're combining. So that makes 1. Then multiply times that -1. So you get -1. Then combine. That makes -7. So my answer here is this is my remainder. This is my number. This is my x1. This is my x2. So my answer is 3x squared minus 3x plus 1 with a remainder of -7 over what I was dividing by was x plus 1. Okay. The next one's another synthetic because I'm dividing by something real nice. So just make sure you change the sign on this. Instead of 3, it's -3. There's no gaps here in any of the x's, so I can just go 2, 3, -7, 1, 3. Drop the 2, multiply, combine. Multiply, combine. Same thing. All right. So this one's going to be 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 with a remainder of 18 over, I was dividing by x plus 3. Just like that. Okay, the next one's another synthetic because I'm dividing by something real nice, so same thing. Multiply, combine, multiply, combine, multiply, combine. So this one's x squared minus 3 with the remainder of 10 over x minus 5. Okay, now we're going to get into another long division one. I know this problem's long division because I'm dividing by something that's not nice. So the key here is you need to realize that this is out of order. You have to cover the gaps and you need to put it in order. So you should be looking at this problem like x4 plus 0x3 minus 2x2 plus 6x1 minus 5. That's how you need to be seeing it. So that's what's going to go here. But if you miss that 0x cubed, it's over. All right, I'm dividing by x squared plus 3x minus 1. Here we go. First term divided by first term, that would make x squared. Then comes the distribute part. So that's going to make x4, that's going to make plus 3x3, and then minus 1x2. All right, now you have to be subtracting this entire thing. This is where I distribute the negative. Combine, so you'll get negative 3x3 minus 1x2. Drop your next term and repeat. So plus 6x. And now you're dividing first term divided by first term. So that's going to make minus 3x. Then comes the distribute. So you're distributing a negative 3x to all these things. So you're going to get negative 3x3 minus 9x2 plus 3x. Now comes the minus parentheses part. Distribute it, change every sign. Then you can combine. So that's going to make 8x squared plus 3x. Drop your last term and repeat. First term divided by first term would be plus 8. Now you're going to distribute that plus 8, and you're going to get 8x squared plus 24x minus 8. Now comes the minus parentheses. Change all these signs. Combine, and you'll get negative 21x plus 3. So this is my remainder because I'm out of stuff to drop. So my answer is x squared minus 3x plus 8 with a remainder of negative 21x plus 3 over, I was dividing by x squared plus 3x minus 1. Sorry, it was written kind of sloppy there. That's okay. All right, and then this last one's another synthetic division because I'm dividing by x minus 4. That's super easy. So a 4 in this box. This is in order and there are no skips. So 1, negative 6, 10, negative 5, negative 13, and then 4. Drop your first term, multiply, combine, multiply, combine, and repeat this process. And generally on these, if you get 0 remainder, that's a very good thing. So remember, it went remainder, then number, then x1, x2, x3, x4. So this answer is x4 minus 2x3 plus 2x2 plus 3x minus 1 with no remainder. Okay, moving along. This farmer wants to build a fence around a rectangular garden. So there's going to be this rectangle, right? That wasn't a very good rectangle, but that's okay. The area of the garden is represented by this polynomial here, and we know the width. They want the length. So if you know the area, I don't even need this rectangle really. Area of a rectangle is length times width. So if you know the width and you want the length, you just divide by width, area divided by width. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do division here. And since they said it's 3x plus 2, I can't do synthetic division. I would have to do long division. So that's going to look like this. Okay. And then it's the same process. So divide first terms, you would get 2x squared. Distribute that 2x squared to both things in there. So you're going to get 6x3 plus 4x2. Then the minus parentheses part. Distribute it and change the signs. Then you can combine. So this makes 15x squared. Drop your next term and repeat. First term divided by first term would make plus 5x. Distribute a 5x to everything in there. So that's going to make 15x2 plus 10x. Now comes the minus parentheses part. Change the signs and combine. You'll get 3x plus 2. Divide first term by first term. So that's plus 1. Distribute it. You'll get 3x plus 2. Change the signs. Combine. Everything cancels. 0 remainder. So my answer is 2x squared plus 5x plus 1. Okay, now they tell me they have a volume of this prism and they know the height. Well, volume is length times width times height. And so to get the length and the width, you're going to divide by the height, just like the other one. So we're going to do division here. And this time I can do synthetic, so I'm going to. So it's going to look like this. All right, drop your first, multiply, combine, and repeat that process. All right, so I know the length times the width is this, which is x squared plus 9x minus 36. Okay, now if they want the dimensions of the base, they want like the specific length and width. So what you got to do is you got to take this right here and you have to factor it. And so this is a trinomial. And if you factor it correctly, let's see, it's going to be 12 and 3. So plus 12 minus 3. So this would be my answer. Do division and then factor. That's all I did. Okay. Determine which is a factor of this. So you could just factor it. If you factored that as a trinomial, you should get this right here. So 3x minus 1 is a check. X plus 2 is a yes. Everything else is a no. That's how I would have done that problem. Okay, they want you to graph a polynomial, and they give you a factor. So in order to graph a polynomial, you really want it in fully factored form. So what you got to do here is you have to do division first and then factor more, kind of like we did 2 problems ago on the rectangular prism. So you can run synthetic here. And you get x squared minus 10x plus 16. Now you got to factor that further. It's going to be x minus 2, x minus 8. So lots of people like to say this is fully factored form and they'll graph only that. You cannot do that. You have to realize they gave you another factor as well. Please do not forget about it. I always check degree. I always check the degree of my polynomial here before I did anything versus the degree when I put it in fully factored form. They should match. So like these are both degree 3. So this is my polynomial. So I'm going to have x-intercepts at 2, at 8, and at -4. And they're all degree 1, which means at these locations, they're all straight through. So mark it on the graph. You've got -4, you've got 2, you've got 8. Also, this is a degree 3 with a positive lead coefficient. So my arrows are down, up. And then they're all straight through, so just go cut through them all and you're done. It would look like that. Okay, on this third page, you're going to want to solve these things. So that means you're going to want them in fully factored form as much as possible. So some of these trinomials can factor further. Some of these are difference of squares, for example. You've got to recognize all this stuff. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This trinomial right here, let's see, that'd be 4 and 12. So this is going to be x plus 12, x minus 4. And then I've got this x squared plus 16 equal to 0. Do not call this a difference of squares. That is not a difference of squares. That is, it should be a minus there if it was a difference of squares. My undo button is not working, so I'm just going to have to erase very carefully. All right, but anyways, this is what fully factored would look like. So you always want to take the gimme answers. So how you're going to get these answers is you're going to take whatever factor it is, so like x plus 12, for example, and you're going to set it equal to 0 and solve it. So like -12 minus 12, this cancels, leaves x equals -12. That's how you're getting these answers. So like this one's just going to be x equals 4 if you do your math right. I'm not going to show this work for all of these. So that's how I'm getting them though. I'm just setting the factor equal to 0. Now this x squared plus 16 one, that one's going to be a little different. It's still going to get set equal to 0, and you're still going to solve it. So like -16, so x squared equals -16. But then you're going to root it. And whenever you root something, you need to put plus minus. It's really important. So you get x equals plus minus root -16. Root -16 can break down. First, you take the I out, so it's I root positive 16. Then you're like, okay, well, the square root of 16 is 4, so this becomes 4i. So my answer here is x equals plus minus 4i. Just like that. Okay, moving right along. They want me to solve this polynomial. That means I need to factor. So this one's factored already. This is not a difference of squares, so I'm going to leave it alone. This is a trinomial that can probably factor nicely. So it's going to be this trinomial is going to be x minus 10x plus 2. So I could rewrite this problem like this. All right, and now I would consider that fully factored. So I can go solve. So this one's going to be 3. I'm going to skip this guy for now. This one's going to be 10. This one's going to be -2. So I take the layups first, and then I go after if there's anything tricky. So like this one, x squared minus 15 equals 0. So add 15, x squared equals 15, and then you're going to root it. So x is just going to be plus minus root 15. And this root does not break down. So I would leave it root 15. Okay, next up. This one is very similar. So I'm going to go and see if I can do this trinomial factored further. So it's going to be, let's see, 5x and x. It's probably going to be 2 and 3. So -3 here plus 2 there. There we go. There was an x in front. And then this x squared minus 4 is a difference of squares. So that becomes x plus 2, x minus 2. And so once you have it like this, it's fully factored. Go set each of these guys equal to 0. Everybody likes to forget about this x in front. He gets an answer too. He gets 0. All right, then this 5x plus 2 part is going to look like this. Subtract 2. Divide by 5. X is -2/5. So that's where I'm going to get this answer from. -2/5. This one's x equals 3. This one's x equals -2. And this one's x equals 2. So That problem was rather easy compared to some of these. All right, next one. Here's another trinomial. This one's going to be 2x plus 1, x plus 5. And then this is a difference of squares. That's going to be x plus 8, x minus 8. And all of this is going to be, I've been forgetting to write equals 0. Equals 0. All right, so go get your answers. I'm going to do this 2x plus 1 just like I did this 5x plus 2. So I'm not showing my work there, but it's going to be negative 1/2. This one's negative 5, this one's negative 8, and this one's 8. Nothing to it. Okay, this next one. Now we're getting into the cubes. And so this right here is the difference of cubes. So what that's going to look like when you factor it is x minus 3, x squared plus 3x plus 9. Then I've got my x plus 1 at the end equals 0. All right, so this is considered fully factored. So take the layup, x equals 3, and x equals negative 1. And then for this part, you're going to have to run the quadratic equation for this trinomial. I know. So it's going to look like this. X equals negative b, so negative 3, plus minus the root of b squared, 3 squared, minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's what it would look like. Now, whenever I run the quadratic equation or quadratic formula, I always go for the root first. So this root is going to be root of 9 minus 36. 9 minus 36 is negative 27. So I'd take the I out and call it root positive 27. Then I'd break down the root to be root 9 root 3. Root 9 times root 3. So this one becomes 3i root 3. So that's how I'm going to be getting my answer. This answer would be x equals negative 3 plus or minus 3i root 3 over 2. All right, moving right along. This is a factor by grouping. You will get x squared minus 9x plus 2, which you need to factor further. So x plus 3, x minus 3, x plus 2. And then these answers are real easy. You got negative 3, you got positive 3, and you got negative 2. I'll clean up this negative 3 part. Just like that. Okay, 3 more. This next one, 17, is a GCF. They all have the letter x, so you have to take it out. So just take one x away from everything. Now it's x squared plus 8x1 plus 12. And so now you should be like, okay, well, I still have a trinomial. You can factor that further. So that's going to be x plus 6, x plus 2. And then this is fully factored, and you're ready to set these equal to 0 and go get answers. So 0, negative 6, and negative 2. Okay, this next one, it's a factor by grouping. So you're going to get this. And so now you should be looking at this, and it is not a difference of squares. So when I go solve this, I'm just going to set that guy equal to 0 and go solve him. So x squared plus 4 equals 0. I'm just double checking in my head that we factored that correctly because that seems odd, but we factored it correctly. So I'm going to go solve it. So minus 4. So you get x squared equals negative 4. Then you're going to hit it with a root. Don't forget plus minus. So you get plus minus root negative 4. Take the I out and call it I root positive 4. So that's how I'm going to get x equals plus minus 2i. I should have done that in red. X equals plus minus 2i. And then this one's just x equals 1. Don't forget about him. Okay, and then this last problem. It's another factor by grouping. So that's going to be x cubed, x minus 2, and then this is minus 8. Yeah, Okay, so you're gonna have to take it further with this difference of cubes here. So that's gonna look like this: x minus 2, x squared plus 2x plus 4. And then I have this other x minus 2 at the end. So it's really like x minus 2 squared. So they're both going to give you the same answer, x equals 2. You only need to write it once. You don't need the second x equals 2. That doesn't matter. Now, this other part, though, does matter. You're going to have to run the quadratic equation on this guy. So it's going to look like this: negative b plus minus the root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So remember, I like to go after that root first. This is going to make root 4 minus 16. 4 minus 16 is negative 12. Take the I out, call it positive 12. Then call root 12 root 4 times root 3. So this one becomes 2i root 3. So I would get x equals negative 2 plus or minus 2i root 3 all over 2. All right, and you're almost done. When all three of these numbers are reducible with each other, you have to reduce. You don't touch the root, just the numbers out in front. So my answer here, after I reduce this, is going to be x equals negative 1 plus or minus 1i root 3, or just I root 3. And it's over 1, so you don't need to put that. And that would be my answer. So there's your test review. And I'm just trying to get screenshots of all these pages. So there's your test review. Hope this video helped.